A friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, passed away yesterday. I got the news in the afternoon that he had passed. And of course, when someone on the phone tells you, asks you, are you sitting down? You know it's not good news, and you know you don't want it to come, but it came. His name is Dave Corso, and he is the producer of my radio show, Knighton Warbeck Radio, and the founder and creator of Wolf Spirit Radio. In 2011, when I returned to Canada after 3 years in Singapore, I had gone through some difficult times, had a 2-year relationship had ended, and I was completely and utterly burnt out on the work that I had done, and I wanted to change my focus, and I didn't realize how much my life was going to change. I knew that it was time for me to go, and I came back to Canada to figure out what is it that I want to do with my life. I have a tremendous amount of knowledge and wisdom imparted to me by my mentors, and also things that I myself that I had discovered and uncovered. And I sat in Canada for 6 months, and I just healed and I rested. And then I did a webinar on property defrag, about the land clearing that I do, about one of my special talents or skills that I developed, and that is to basically smooth out the energies, rearrange the information on a piece of property, and then people experience results immediately. It's a natural talent and skill that I have. And I use this in my business as well to help my clients. And after that webinar, Dave had actually listened in, and he said to my friend Rebecca, who was hosting the webinar, and she has her own radio show, she says, ask Knighton if he wants a spot. Well, it was too much for me at the time. I was on overload. I didn't know what my message was. I didn't exactly know how everything was going to work out, and I just said no. And then a year later, I contacted Dave in March of 2013, and I said to him, yeah, let's do it. And I knew that in order for me to share my information and to teach and share and instruct all the things that I learned and things that I had other people apply, and I applied to become the ultimate version of myself, and for my clients to get some, just phenomenal success, often instant success. I knew that I had to do the radio show. I knew it. One thing about me as somebody who stuttered for 28 years, from age 6 to age 34, was that I would often rehearse what I wanted to say, seconds, minutes, hours, even days in advance. Because each day I stuttered probably between 70 and 200 times a day. And each time I suffered a tremendous humiliation and shame. So I was scared. But I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to do the radio show. It's one of those things where you just have to face and confront in your life to evolve, to get to the next level. And Dave Corso gave me the opportunity. So we did the first show in April of 2013, and it didn't record. There's no archive of it. His 2 or 3 machines in his studio all showed that it was recording the intro, the first show, but it didn't. And he was upset and I was upset, but as I said, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And since then I've done 43 shows. And sometimes I didn't want to do a show. Sometimes I was nervous. I didn't know what the content was going to be. But Dave said in the beginning, he said, Knighton, he said, you can talk about anything you want. Anything at all. I said, anything? He says, it's your show. And he says, what kind of a time slot do you want? What do you want? Do you want to do a show every day, 3 hours a day? Do you want to do once a month? What do you want? And when do you want to do it? I'll schedule you in. I said, well, how about we start at maybe 1 hour a week? Maybe on a Saturday. People are usually home on a Saturday. He said, great, we have a slot here at 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 11 Mountain, my time, till noon, so 1 hour show. I said, great, let's do it. And then we did it together. And of course, at the time, I didn't, again, know exactly what I wanted to do with my knowledge and my wisdom and my experiences. But I knew that I had to do the shows. And I remember it'd be 10:30 in the morning, and I wouldn't know what the show was going to be about. And I remember I'd be in the shower trying to collect my thoughts. And then I'd get on Skype with Dave at about 5:02, about 10:55. And we have a good little chat. How are you today? How was your morning? So cheerful and supportive. And then I just knew what I was going to talk about. So I often went from not knowing what I was going to talk about, not having a set topic or subject, to creating 3 shows out of it, 3 parts. And Dave was part of my evolution to get me to where I am today. So, he was just a stranger who was very supportive. And he always said something to me that's very, very touching. And he would often say it on the air at the end of the show, or we would go off the air but still be chatting on Skype for sometimes an hour. And he would say to me, Knighton, I so appreciate you. So with him gone, just feels such a loss. Such a deep, deep loss. And probably the saddest part is I never got to say goodbye. But here's the interesting part. I decided last night to celebrate my time with Dave. So I went to the grocery store and just bought myself a really cheap frozen pizza. And I got a 2-liter bottle of my favorite drink. It's ginger ale. Just love ginger ale. And as always, I was very, very careful to shake the ginger ale. So I placed it in my car, as I always do, very, very carefully, and brought it home and put it on the counter. And I went into the freezer and grabbed some ice cubes and filled up my glass with ice. And I cracked open the 2-liter bottle of ginger ale, and it fizzed everywhere. All over the counter, all over me, all over the floor. And that was Dave. I had been talking with Dave since I got the news yesterday afternoon, and about 3 hours later I went and got the pizza and the ginger ale, and sure enough, she just exploded. And then last night I sat out under the stars and had a good chat with him as well. So really, I never got to say goodbye, but I didn't have to. Because he's still here and still around. So I wanted to thank Dave. Thank you, Dave, for your support and your encouragement. And in case I never told you, I so appreciate you.